What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, the SOMA Prime. Do you really use it a lot for level 10,000s? I did the other day because of my chat voting on it, and here we are at the level 10,000 SOMA Prime Showcase. With the stuff we're using today, you can one-shot level 10,000s with the SOMA Prime, even though it's not exactly the best Incarnon in all of Warframe. So yeah, more of a fun one for today. It's really not meta at all. The burst is just pretty much strictly better, but if you do want to rock the SOMA Prime, it does have some fun stuff going on, especially with some of these new mods and arcanes, so let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure you sub this channel, do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news videos, discussion videos, all that kind of stuff in the place Warframe content. And we'll be covering the Tech Rot Encore update in depth when it comes out on March 19th. Okay, so you got basically 1 week until the SOMA Prime goes away. It actually might already be gone by the time this video comes out. Not sure when it will go up. But the big thing about the SOMA Prime is a full auto rifle that the Incarnon form was viewed as a very underwhelming upgrade to a lot of players. Basically, the Incarnon form of the SOMA turns this extremely crit-focused full auto rifle into a still full auto, but multi-shot and status chance focused slash shotgun thing. It still uses rifle mods, but yeah, the crit chance does get reduced when you're in this Incarnon form, but thanks to the primary acuity mods and the Hata Sacha mod that's always worked to the SOMA Prime, this can be actually kind of okay. So let's go over the builds and suggestions I'd go over for you if you want to use this not meta weapon at all at level 10,000s to middling success. Okay, so here we are the sim, and in the footage I was using the Nyx Assimilate build from my zombie Nyx video. The big thing here is that this is not actually a full buffer build. You could technically do more damage. I was just going for like a slam attack build, and the SOMA was there as like backup, but you could go for even more damage. So if I went for Arcane Rage, on headshot increased primary damage, and I've also got Arcane Avenger, which does proc while you're in Assimilate to give you even more crit chance. We've got Pacifying Bolts to remove enemy armor, and also Nourish to give us some viral, since we're not even mod for elementals right now. Nyx also has a passive that gives us increased critical chance enemies are rad procced, and it should be active quite often. As far as the SOMA itself, we've got the perks as followed. Fortifying Bloodshed, giving us overshields after a slash proc kill. The other perk is not really that good on that tier either. You get them a lot of armor for it, and that'll give you 2 more base damage technically. So if you want the most base damage, technically go for that one. But yeah, some slash proc overshields ain't too bad either. For tier 3, you got either recoil reduction, increased accuracy, or increased reload speed. If you use primary crux, you won't really need reload speed, and I'm not really using primary crux for level 10,000, but it is definitely an option for lower levels. So I went for reduced recoil. It's like a laser. And for the final tier, I went for Fresh Havoc as my perk. After 2 full reloads from empty, you get basically double base damage compared to what you normally have. This one gives 12. These will get 12 more from doing this twice. The other options are Fatal Affliction, giving basically condition overload on direct hits, which should be pretty okay, or Zeroed In, giving base critical damage. This is just going to give you, it has such low base damage, this is going to really, really help you a lot. So I went with that one. As far as the build, you've got a primary acuity build, and I am running a double crit minus puncture Riven. If you don't have a Riven, you could definitely just throw on Hammer Shot instead for less crit chance, but the crit chance will still be okay with Hata Sacha stacking up. Hata Sacha, special mod only for the SOMA. Each hit increases your critical chance and resets upon reloading or holstering. So if you're doing this for lower levels, you can definitely use Crux to have a longer magazine. You'll keep that buff for longer. Keep in mind, once you go to Incarnon form, you will lose this buff, but it's actually quite easy to stack up as it does work off multi-shot. Additionally, we got Prime shown in here. If you think you have too much fire rate, feel free to throw an elemental mod, like an electric mod on there to get some procs out there, because electric procs are pretty good on headshots. All right, enough talking about that. Let's go ahead and show it on some enemies real quick. I'm not going to fully buff it up. As I stated, we could buff it up a lot more. I don't want to overly buff it right now. So we've got a couple buffs, because the weapon kind of needs it. All right, so hopping over here, let's see what we can do with no buffs starting off. As you see, not really getting elementals. We are still getting some orange and red crits, though, with the Hata Sacha mod. But now that we've gotten no more ammo left, we have to reload and we lose all of our Hata Sacha. So if we do the same thing with the Incarnon form, you can stack Hata Sacha very quickly, but this thing has less base crit, so it's really going to still be yellow crits a lot of times. So let's start throwing some more buffs in here. So Assimilate does buff your damage. Nourish buffs your damage. and some armor strips should be pretty good too. So now we can just do 2 million damage one taps, and it's also that's per multi-shot too. So you get lots and lots of numbers with this thing. I also do prefer to use the primary form more. But yeah, for Acuity, you're really just going for headshots, guys. Like, you know, multi-million damage in one bullet. Like, without Acuity, it feels a lot more underwhelming. So that's going to be a big one. Let's go ahead and show the same exact build with Crux. I like Deadhead for increased damage, but Crux is definitely usable if you're not planning on level 10,000 all the time. And additionally, let's go ahead and just show a different mod on here instead of... Let's take out Bane of the Orokin, actually, just to show that it is a little bit flexible. But at the same time, it's still not going to be meta, so it's really up to you if you want to rock this. Okay, same exact build, now with Electric proc on there to get some extra DOTs. This will be very good against armor-stripped enemies. Alright, so do the same thing. And we don't really have that much damage chance, but with Primary Crux, we can actually get a little bit more. As you see, we're keeping those red crits sustained with the Soma stacked up, because we're getting those headshots for Primary Crux. Very, very nice in that regard. You are going to also have to reload from empty twice to get that buff. Let's see if we actually have it here. Okay, I think is it that one right there? Yeah, Fresh Havoc. So reloading twice from empty will give you your full buff. That's why having Fire Rate is kind of helpful. We also have Fire Rate on our Panzer Cat, giving us easier access to that reload from empty. Now that we've gotten all that stuff down there, let's throw in the buffs. This should be nearly full damage for this thing. Keeping in mind, we did take off Bane of the Corrupted. And we also don't have Deadhead, so actually not too shabby for just like a mindless generic spam weapon. I mean, it's not exactly single target. Electric procs can kind of help with that. But yeah, no armor, throw in Nourish. Most things will be good after that, including the Soma Prime. So after I've, taken it to level 10,000, would I recommend it to you? I would say no, I wouldn't recommend it to you. It's not like this has really changed too much. As far as the new things on here, it's mainly going to be Primary Crux is an option. I'm not even using Primary Crux in the footage at level 10,000, but the big thing here is Primary Acuity. A ton of weak point damage, a ton of weak point crit chance, and since this thing has reduced crit on the Incarnon form, at least helps it out a little bit. Going beyond that, though, there are just other weapons in this game that are better than this thing, in my opinion. We can use the Burstin, for example, again. The Burstin for level 10,000... It's not even going to be like, a question. I don't even have to buff it really at level 10,000 to burst and to shred these guys in one bullet. But with this footage right now, if you are going unbuffed with the Soma Prime for level 10,000, you're just gonna be like, why am I doing this, basically? I literally have the Magistar Incarnon equipped in this video, in the background. I am choosing to not use the Magistar Incarnon. I am choosing to use the Soma here. So, that being said, it's just like the X52 video the other day. Are you going to actually feel like you're contributing and having a good time when you have teammates using meta stuff and you're using the Soma Prime? Same exact situation with the X52. At least this one's actually an Incarnon. But yeah, I am putting a lot of effort into this one to make it actually like shred these guys. And it feels like it doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to be this weak. If I was to buff this one, I would say they could honestly just unnerf the crit chance of the Incarnon form, because it does go down quite a bit. If we look at my build right here, I believe we go from like 89%, even with a crit chance ribbon, 89% on the primary form before Hata Satya, to 29.8%. The number you're scaling off of is a lot lower too. So yeah, it's just, it's interesting. A 10% base crit chance on the Incarnon form, 30% on the primary form. So not exactly everyone's favorite, but still a decent enough option if it's all you have. If you only have the Soma Prime and you want to get the Incarnon, which requires Steel Birth, this can kill level 10,000. So if that's the basis of what you're looking for, as far as, if it's good or not, sure. And for normal levels, if you're doing like doing an EDA or the new ETA coming out in the 19th, this could definitely get the job done there too. Throw on Crux for that level and you'll be able to get those red crits on lots of enemies. And yeah, just kind of a workhorse weapon that has some unfortunate pitfalls that make me not want to use it as much. But hopefully this helped you decide if you like this thing. It probably should use Acuity. Acuity is a very strong mod, and it does help. It doesn't make it as crazy red crit as like the Quelor or the Kuva Checker, but this could definitely do some decent work. Here we're at the Thrax right here. As you see, if you're not getting headshots, Acuity is really bad. When you get the headshots, red crits. So yeah, a little bit feast or famine on that one. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate the support. And yeah, should be a lot more videos on the way with the new TechRot Encore update. Take it easy, guys. Bye.